Okay, the second method is more of a comprehensive method. So we're maybe not going to have the ability to go field by field, but we're going to look at the business object from kind of a top-down, or how the business object relates to all the components and pieces and the relationships between the objects. So once you're generally familiar with a business object, whether it's a purchase order, production order, sales order, etc., and you kind of get the idea and the gist of it, rather than going field by field, you can use the data model, and we're going to go in and look at the sales order. That's why it's called SO here. We're going to go look at that business object, which in this case happens to be SDSLS30205. Don't worry about that so much. I'm going to show you how to find these, and we'll do kind of a navigation and walkthrough. But this is a great way to say, and let me go in really quick and get a good overview of this whole data object, and then go look at the tables or the fields after that, and it'll kind of bring everything together for you. Okay, let's take a look at the data modeler. You could type in SD11 transaction, okay? However, let's go look at it through the menu path as well, so you know where to find it, what area it's in. If we go down here to Tools, ABAP Workbench, Development, there we see SE11, which we use to look at the tables. The very next one down, SD11 Data Modeler, and we can just go there. So I'm going to double click on that, and here we come up to the initial screen. We're going to see a series of menu options here: create, change, display. So if you're starting a project and building some custom application, this is where you may want to create a modeling object. It can be a great way to communicate kind of design features. Really, for us though, we're more worried about here just displaying, just to get a good overview of an object that we want to use for analysis. Okay. Edit, go to utilities. You can see there's reports on it. We can come back and look at a little bit at this here. Version management, if it's been changed. And then the environment button, you can get into some of the other technical aspects of it. Okay. So here we can look at the data model by basically two different views, SAP applications or SAP architecture. We'll look at those. There's just some slight differences. Either one really would work for looking at the data model. The modeling object, okay, so you need to know which object you're looking at, whether it's a sales order, a purchase order, a production order, a quote, contract, customer, material. All these different things are basically objects. So you may know it and you can type it right in, otherwise we have to find it. So we can use the search help over here to find it, okay? And I can go to the information system and we can search, and you can see I've got my maximum number of hits set to 200, and it'll come right up to 200 because there's a whole lot of objects. And once that list comes up, I can still search, and try and find it this way. If I know what I'm looking for, maybe I get what I'm looking for, maybe I don't. So it gets a little tricky. Until you're comfortable with it, what I would suggest is closing out all these windows here, all these little application windows, and just go to the SAP applications. This is about the easiest way to find it. So if you click on that, you basically get a menu tree here, and then we can just find what you're looking for. So I know it's within logistics, and I look around in logistics a little bit here. I see some of the applications. Sales sounds right, so I look in sales, and okay, within sales I see some of these other objects that are related to sales. I go down here further into sales, and lo and behold, here's all these objects, and there is my sales order. So from there, I can just click, double click, okay, and I'm right into the object. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy this and back up here using the green arrow. And from this front page, that's where if I knew my object ahead of time, I can just come right in here and just display the object, and we're basically in the same place. Okay, so we're looking here at basically the definition of the sales order object. Okay, and it'll work that way for for any other of the types of applications. We can go in here and let's say we want to go into the SAP architecture view. Same thing. It looks somewhat similar. You're going to get a slightly different view of things. Here, instead of sales, I'm going to go down into sales and distribution. I'm kind of looking at it like I was looking at SAP, how it's set up basically through the menu system there. I can go sales and distribution down to sales, okay, and then it starts to look very much like, you know, the other one. So I'm within sales organization, sales district, sales order. There we go. Or there's our business object 2032 for a sales order. Now I could open that up and go in a little bit deeper, or I could just take that top level business object so I get everything. And then there you can see we're in a similar type of view, okay? So I would really recommend here kind of getting familiar with your business object. Let's say it's a purchase order. You'd want to go and look at the application view, look at the architecture view, and just display down here is fine, okay? So you get a good kind of cross-section or different views of the same object to help build your understanding. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and look at the details behind this object, and we'll cover that in the next section.